Hi, my name is Gibson, and I'm the creator of the Personal Development School. This is your daily breakthrough video, and in this video, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how to deal with the pain of silent treatment coming from the dismissive avoidant, and really like what's going on when a dismissive avoidant gives somebody the silent treatment in general. So number one, the most reported things that I would hear, and this is like over and over again from literally hundreds of clients over the majority of the past decade, when somebody was dismissive avoidant and they would open up and share like why they were stonewalling their partner or loved one, they would say it's usually because they felt unsafe. They were trying to avoid having more conflict. They didn't know what they were feeling at the time anyway, so how are they possibly going to communicate it? Or they were trying to communicate indirectly and let somebody know that they were hurting them when they didn't feel like their words are getting across. And really what I hear from that is you don't trust that there won't be conflict. You feel unsafe. You feel unseen, unheard, misunderstood. Now, a big part of the reason is because oftentimes dismissive avoidants don't have a lot of good modeling. So they don't have a lot of like emotional literacy growing up, right? And they don't have the ability sometimes to put their emotions into words and communicate their needs if they don't even know what they are. And if that kind of behavior was never really shown to them in any sort of context. But these are some really important ingredients that have to come into how we're going to work through this if we feel like we're being stonewalled by the dismissive avoidant, or if you are the dismissive avoidant watching this video because you're hoping to be able to overcome these habits, knowing that they can be really painful and often detrimental to a relationship long term. So we're going to talk about it if you're on the receiving end. Okay. And one of the first things that's important, because what we're trying to do is like basically get around all of these reasons that the dismissive avoidant often stonewalls to begin with. And one of the first things is if you can let a dismissive avoidant partner know, or friend or loved one or family member, whoever it is that you're having this dynamic with, let them know that you are here to have a healthy conversation when they're ready. It's sort of like saying, I come in peace. And what this does is lays the ground to say, if you're stonewalling to avoid conflict, there's not going to be a conflict. So there's no need to stonewall. So it really drops that first like major pain point. The second thing you want to do is if you can, when you do start communicating, you can let the person know what you see and hear and understand about them and what you would like to see and hear and understand more about. So you may say something like, hey, I can definitely see that you're feeling a little bit misunderstood in this situation. And I don't have all the information I need to properly understand you, but I want to. And I would love to hear what you have to say. And this also lays that foundation to like sort of equilibrate or like get around that wound or interpretation the DA has that says, I'm not seen, heard, and understood, so why bother having a conversation? And the next thing you can do is let somebody know, let the dismissive avoidant know in general, that you really want to work through this and work as a team to get towards resolution and hear each other out in a healthy way. And that it's important to not shove things under the rug. And sometimes a DA needs a little bit of extra a little bit of extra time to really sort through their feelings. But it's also important to recognize and to sort of hold your DA loved one accountable, because sometimes the DA, if they like kind of resolve something, they'll sweep it under the rug and then try to like act like everything's status quo the next day and kind of go back into like everything's fine, and not want to bring it up the next day. And it's still an avoidance strategy for conflict, because DAs often like are in resistance to rehashing things because they're trying to avoid the conflict or the confrontation. But it's really important that even if you feel okay about things the next day and you kind of compartmentalize, that if you are the DA listening to this, you don't sweep things under the rug. It's not constructive for any relationship. And usually your response will come out as passive aggression long term. So you then want to proceed, if you're on the receiving end and you're trying to work through this with the DA partner, you want to proceed with kindness and warmth and be patient as much as you can. This isn't mutually exclusive to you having needs and to not communicating your needs or anything like this. But if you're the one that's hurting with the pain of being stonewalled and you take these steps, it's going to help close that gap at a faster rate so that you can then proceed to organize and sort of orchestrate a conversation where you guys can work through things together. And what I would recommend doing is start by saying like those things. I want to have a healthy conversation. I definitely want to like see and hear and understand you. Here's what I understand so far. I would like to learn more, and proceed with warmth and patience and kindness. And then when you hear the other person out and can validate their feelings and perspectives, turn around and say, okay, these are my feelings and perspectives. And I would love for you to hear me out as well. And then share where you're coming from and what's come up for you. And if you want to do a deeper dive into like proper resolution and actually like how to communicate specifically in a script, when you're feeling stonewalled and how to get out of it, you you can check out our communication scripts course, where there's a series of a whole bunch of different scripts. And one of them is literally how to communicate. And I've literally written out for you exactly what to say when you're being stonewalled, and how to use these scripts and sort of approach the situation. You can use this with DAs or fearful avoidance. And you can also check out for free our conflict resolution course that has steps that are necessary to work through conflict as a whole. If you're finding that you're really rubbing up on this in your relationship and getting like stuck and kind of trapped and having a difficult time moving beyond conflict situations and feeling like there's true resolution, that's one of the most important things that you need in order to move beyond the power struggle stage of a relationship and have a lasting relationship, is to get good at talking through conflicts, because they will happen. They're part of our human experience and it's kind of inevitable. So if you want extra support, check out those courses for free for 7 days. Hopefully this is a great place to start if you're finding yourself being stonewalled and just sort of like need context on what to do. And again, obviously, if you see any kind of unhealthy behaviors from anybody, any attachment style at any point that are prolonging and the needle's not moving in a healthier direction, it always may be a good time to reconsider leaving the relationship long term if you're just not able to work through things. So I hope this makes sense. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next video.